Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. Let's talk about some super long lasting, sometimes annoyingly long lasting fragrances. You know those kind of fragrances that sometimes you just wear them, you need to be very committed. If you really want to top up with something else, they overtake everything. Those are the kind of fragrances I'm talking about. Not only are these, most of them are beast mode, but sometimes beast mode fragrances are not super long lasting. Not all beast mode fragrances are super long lasting and vice versa. I've had some beast mode fragrances that are like just beast mode for the first 1, 2, 3 hours, after which you can barely even smell them. And there are others which are like quite subtle, but they linger on throughout the day, 2 days, 3 days. You can still smell them in your clothes. And I have such 10 fragrances. They might be beast mode, but the emphasis is on long lasting fragrances now. I remember doing this video with my two friends, and Edmond was emphasizing the fact that if fragrances are long lasting, he doesn't mind the smell at all. So for me to get something like that means there are others who are like Edmond, they don't mind how fragrances smell if just because they are long lasting and be smooth. So if you are like that, I think these ones are for you. But these ones, on the other hand, smell amazing. I'm not like particularly looking for long lasting be smooth fragrances like lately, because I've come to appreciate those lingering around but like quiet and shy fragrances. If I love the scent profile, I'm okay with that. So let's go with the first one here. The first one here, it's been a while since I even mentioned it on this channel. Dar Al Shuyukh from the brand Dar Al Khaleej. I think this is discontinued. It is hardly available, but I know if you have a Middle Eastern store which stock like old fragrances, you're likely to find it somewhere. I don't think it is totally vanished out of the surface of this earth, but Dar Al Shuyukh is one of those heavy gourmand chocolate, vanilla, spicy, bergamot sort of fragrance. It's like vanilla, chocolatey with the hint of coffee sort of thing. It's just beautiful. It is realistic. It's one of those somehow annoying gourmands, those gourmands that are like linear. Whatever you get from the beginning is what you're getting throughout, and it stays forever. Gourmands can sometimes be annoying in the sense that they don't last as long. A lot of these gourmand fragrances, with the exception of few, they're always exception to the rule. But when it comes to a fragrance like that, Dar Al Shuyukh, it is like annoyingly long lasting. It is one of those fragrances you need to commit to. You wear this one, you cannot add any other thing to it. Even if you layer it, it's going to overtake whatever you try to layer it with, unless that is equally like a super beastly fragrance. But this on its own, not only is this beast mode, it's also super long lasting. You're getting like 24 hours plus, especially on clothes. On skin, you're getting not less than 8 hours. Fragrances hardly give you 5 to 6 hours, no matter how long lasting on skin. On skin, I don't know, unless you have like very good skin, whatever, and you can take fragrances for that long. But most people that I know cannot have fragrances on skin for more than 10 hours. I guess, exaggerating. But fragrances, this one is going to give you at least 8 hours on skin. It's like super long lasting throughout the day. You can smell it on your skin. On clothes, it's like forever. It doesn't leave you. So you need to be committed to such a fragrance, and that is going to be Dar Al Shuyukh from the brand Dar Al Khaleej. If you find it, you can blind buy this. It's quite a safe blind buy. It is a true gourmand, chocolatey, coffee-ish, slight coffee-ish, with the spicy bergamoty vanilla. It is just a beautiful scent. Another one here is very unassuming. By or per the description, it is like a very light, watery, aquatic fragrance. That is what I would describe Rose's emotion for the most part. However, it is not totally beast mode. Neither is it a very shy fragrance. It's like moderate, when it comes to projection. However, longevity is super amazing. 24 hours plus is going to be on your clothes. On skin, it does amazingly well. It stays for at least 6-8 hours on skin, and then on clothes the whole day and then some. So Rose's emotion, although in theory it's supposed to be your light, airy, musky, fresh, clean, aquatic rose, in practice, it is very long lasting, on the borderline being a bit beast mode, depending on how many sprays you do. So this one, I'll say it is super unassuming. You might think it is like ultra feminine, so it's not going to do, or those high heat fragrances, it's not going to do super well, but it is just an amazing long lasting fragrance. Another one I have here is going to be a new addition to my collection. It's not to be inspired by Vanille Fatale, from Tom Ford. This is also not as loud and beast mode and super room filling, but it lingers. It's going to linger. That smoke, that tobacco, that coffee, it just going, that vanilla that is not sweet. It's all about unsweetened notes, vanilla not sweet, tobacco not overly spicy, the vanilla, the coffee also not sweet. It's like very unsweetened gourmandish vanilla, tobacco, coffee smell, and it lingers. It's not super beast mode, but it's going to last you at least 15, 20 hours, 24 hours on clothes. You put the clothes away, the following day you can get that smoky nuance, the tobacco nuance. It's just a very beautiful scent. It's quite on the unique side. It's not going to be for everybody because there is very little sweetness to this. It's like very little sweetness. It is not your typical beast mode fragrance, but it's super long lasting. So I think if you want something super long lasting with a uniqueness, it's going to be smoked oud and vanilla from Maison Alhambra. I'm going to go with one that is like a lot of people's favorites, although to me, I think I have something which is a little superior to this, but I still love this fragrance altogether, and that is going to be Casablanca. A very spicy suede caramel, like a very sharp, intense caramel, quite resonant, rich, vanilla scent, apple, apple crisp, Granny Smith apple. It is very, very intense. You don't need to overspray this one at all. It is a little goes a very long way. It is quite intense. It is one of those scents that will choke you out. And not only is it beast mode, it's also super long lasting. It's going to last you days upon days. It's one of those fragrances that when you layer, you need to sort of amp up whatever the other fragrance and do little of this. Other than that, unless you want this one to be the main style of the show, it's going to overtake a lot of fragrances. So guess 1, 3, not one. One is just nothing. Maybe 3, 4, 5. You can do and then do something else, and it might not overtake it, but on its own, it's a very beautiful beast mode, especially when it goes through the process of aging. It becomes like more sharp and intense and room filling in a very beautiful way. All these fragrances, although are super, some of them are beast mode and long lasting, they are all beautiful fragrances. They merit their own they are just beautiful, and that is going to be Casablanca from Swiss Arabia. I'm going to go with a fragrance that I thought it's very polarizing. You need to be in the mood sometimes to even wear this. The original version is one of those fragrances that had the hype, and this is known to be inspired by that, being Shaikh from the house Ahmed Al Maghribi. And being Shaikh is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. The scent profile by itself is out there. It is very out there, Banyadi, heavy Middle Eastern oud, saffron sort of, vibe, and coupled with the fact that it is beast mode. I understand this is like the reformulated sort of, versions coming out. So even with this reformulated version, people were like, oh, it's watered down and it's not as beastly as the original one. I never smelled the original one, so I wouldn't know. However, even this as a reformulated bottle, you don't need to joke with it. You don't need to joke with this one. If you do more than 10 sprays, if you can survive 10 sprays of this fragrance, then you are something else. It is beastly, it is strong, and it is super long lasting. It lasts like days on clothes. On skin, it's going to last at least 10 hours. You can still smell it, but it just mellows down as the hours pass by. But on clothes, you're getting your 24 hours, 48 hours. You're still smelling being Shaikh. It is strong. It is potent. It is like super long lasting. Everybody is going to turn and look at you, whether in a good way or bad way. There is something about this that will make someone tend to look at you, whether to compliment you and ask themselves, what the hell this person is wearing. It's either of them, either what the hell are you wearing or you smell amazing. Either way, I love this, fragrance. It is super beastly and it's super long lasting, and that is going to be Being Shake. Another one that also gives me an overbearing, annoying 24 hours plus is going to be Resala from the house Arabian Oud. It's very beautiful, but you need to be committed to this. It's one of those fragrances you can't mix and match. It's like either you're committed to it, or even if you want to layer this, it has to be like fewer number of sprays of this, and then probably the other one you can go ham on it, because it overtakes everything. Rose, chocolate. I don't think this one has rose. This one is chocolate and oud, I'm not sure, it could be rose. It could be rose oud combo, It's just a very beautiful rose oud. It's rose and oud, and chocolate. In this instance, there is chocolate in it, and it's like very thick and rich and resonant and piercing and sharp and intense. It is everything you might want in the fragrance if you are committed to super beast mode and super long lasting fragrances, and you need to be committed to it, because no matter what you layer this with, it's going to overtake it. No matter how, you need to at least bathe or take your bath to be able to take Resala off, as well as Being Shake and all these other fragrances. To be able to take them off, you need to take your bath. Like, you can't just go like, oh, it's going to go away at the end of the day. I'm going to go with another fragrance here, and this is not going to be, I don't know if it's a recommendation or something, but if you don't mind a scent, but you're all about, I want something long lasting, why not Cake Temptation? Hear me out first. Cake Temptation is not going to be a fragrance I'm recommending now, at least until after about 6 months or 1 year after maturation, then I can conclude on it, But when it comes to beast mode, this is super beast mode. It is beast mode, and it is super annoyingly long lasting. Like, it's not going anywhere. Where is it going? It has nowhere to go. It's on you. It's like it's stuck on you like glue, like a sticker, like a tattoo. Is there unless you scrub and scrub and scrub. That has been my experience with this, the few times that I've tried this one, trying to get used to the scents, get to know the scents more, it never goes away. I'm like, I need you to go, because I don't like you, but it never goes away. At least that is a positive side, If not for anything, I found something positive about this fragrance, and it's the fact that it is super beast mode and it is super long lasting. So if you want it for the sake of being super long lasting and beast mode, I think Cake Temptation by Paris Corner is going to be it for you. I'm going to go with another one here. I think I'm the only person who actually likes this fragrance. I'm yet to, I think Wink Lady also sort of recommends this every now and then, but aside us, I barely see anybody recommending Oud Al Layl from My Perfumes Arabiat. It's like one of those Middle Eastern quintessential rose oud. It's not as funky or skanky, but it has that. There's something that will remind you of Middle Eastern, fragrance, like the ones that, those first era sort of Middle Eastern fragrances that put a lot of people off about Middle Eastern fragrances, if you understand what I mean. Those times when everybody thought Middle Eastern fragrances were all about strong, potent, off-putting, skunk, whatever. And that is a very quintessential one in this one. Rose, Oud Al Layl, and it also has some oud chip in it. The bottle is very beautiful, but the scent is very polarizing depending on who is smelling. To me, it is very beautiful. Rose oud and some violet. And now that it has gone through a lot of maceration, I've had this for almost 2 years. I get more fruit. There's something more fruity about this fragrance that I absolutely adore. So Oud Al Layl, from the name says it, Oud Al Layl, it's just intense, potent, strong, super long lasting. When I spray this and I leave the room, I come back from my dates, errands and everything. Evening time, I'll come back and I still smell this. I will still smell this. It's one of those fragrances it overtakes whatever you layer it with. So you need to be careful about this. The scent might not be for everybody, but it is a very beautiful, unique, Middle Eastern sort of fragrance, the typical one, if you understand what I mean. So that's going to be Oud Al Layl from My Perfume Arabiat. The next fragrance I have here is one that I haven't worn in a very long time. I think it's nice, but it needs too much, too much. Raghba with Intense is just like one of those, a little too much. I have recommended this. I will still recommend this, especially for the price that is selling now. I think it's now selling for like $14, but you don't need to do too much. I remember spraying this and I went to my friend's office because we had a meeting, and when I got to his office, he was in a meeting, so I had to just wait, at a waiting area. When he finished and he came to call me, or like they came to call me to see him, he was like, I could smell you. I could smell you, although we were not in the same office with me. He could smell me from the next door, from the next office. And that is how strong this, fragrance is. It's like beastly. It is super. It can be overwhelming, a little overwhelming if you overspray, everything in the right proportion. But sometimes I do overspray and learn my lesson the hard way. And I think this one gave me a hard way sort of, lesson. And that is Raghba with Intense. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. It's more of a dressed up, colder weather evening sort of, wear, but it's just a little too much, just a little too much. I wore it some time ago and I guess overspray this thing, it just went into me like it was just too much. I guess told myself, look, put this one down somewhere and think about yourself, because although you like the scent, you cannot do it. It's just too strong and too potent. Just 2-3 sprays is beautiful. So that is going to be Raghba with Intense. And I think I'm going to go with another one here that is super beautiful, Kismet Angel from Alhambra. It is super beautiful, but this gave me a headache at the initial stages. Even now, if I overspray, it gives me a headache. That is the truth about this. It is strong. It is Angel Share by itself, the original one, is super strong to me. And sometimes Angel Share, even the original one, gives me a headache if I sort of overspray it. It's super strong. It's beastly. It is long lasting. It lasts you at least 10 hours, not 10 hours, at least 18 hours on clothes, at least for this. This one does not do too well on skin, at least on me. Skin, maybe 4, 5 or less, on skin, it doesn't do too well. No, but on clothes, the next day I can still smell Kismet Angel, and these are very beautiful fragrances. They are both unique, but sometimes I feel a lot of beast mode fragrances, if you are looking for both beast mode and super long lasting, you have to go for some of these loud ones. The very moderate mild ones can be a little underwhelming if that is what you are looking for. If you are looking for something super long lasting and beast mode, those quiet, shy, moderate ones are not going to be for you. But these are 10 amazing fragrances, I think 10 or 11 that I have mentioned in this video, and I hope you found this video useful, and I hope this video found you well. So thank you so much, and hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.